I am Georgios Kostakos. I am the Executive Director of FOGS, the Foundation for Global Governance Sustainability, based in Brussels. And I'm glad for this opportunity to contribute to your thinking about the new Center of Excellence for NATO. I think there is a lot that this center can do to help the militaries reduce their emissions in terms of carbon emissions, which affect, of course, climate change, and to adapt to climate change, their operations, their installations, and all other aspects of their work. So these two big areas, I think, offer the opportunity to collect good practices in both of these and to share them across NATO, across the member states. Because, for example, in the area of reduction of emissions, which is the mitigation area, we can see good practices being developed in terms of manufacturing of equipment, in terms of operating equipment, like the technical specifications of fuel for the vehicles and the planes and other equipment. Also the actual manufacturing and the methods that are used by the industry associated with the militaries to produce all this equipment, and of course during exercises, etc., the use of the equipment and the explosive, etc., can also be studied and ways found to reduce significantly the emissions in terms of CO2 and other greenhouse gases. There is an important element there that countries often do not report or underreport the emissions from the military. That is also a matter that has to be dealt with in terms of transparency. There are civil society organizations who have been demanding more transparency in that regard and commitments in the framework of UNFCCC. I'm sure governments and NATO would benefit from goodwill, public goodwill, if they proceeded to make more precise announcements and also announce the measures taken to reduce the emissions. In the field of adaptation, we can talk about good practices in terms of placement of installations close to the sea, especially with the sea level rise. Installations may have to be moved or ways found to elevate, let's say, some sensitive equipment. Also, in terms of temperature increase, there has to be attention paid to possibility of a malfunctioning of electronics or explosives and other elements of the military because of these new temperatures that often exceed the safe range that has been foreseen at the manufacturing of the equipment. Also, in terms of floods and fires, if often installations are surrounded by forests and there is an increased now incidence of wildfires, there has to be a clear zone, and the explosive depots have to be again clear from such possibilities of being affected by fires or floods, etc. For all this, the center could have surveys among the members of NATO, what they do. After good categorization, a good classification of the possible dangers and possible actions in both of these areas, mitigation, adaptation, and then collect good practices, disseminate those good practices through training and brainstorming sessions, etc.